Good day, everybody. Again, my name is Eric Leyland, and welcome to our newsletter. Today, we're going to be talking about an interesting topic around brand safety. So if you read the newsletter, if you read the title, or if you didn't do anything and you're getting into this topic, I work in the digital marketing sphere, have so for about 20 years now, and this newsletter covers all things digital advertising. And so what we're going to discuss today is how we can effectively make sure that we have safety measures that are in place that help to make sure that the brand that you're building is not corrupted, is not in danger when we're in these online advertising environments. So what is brand safety? How can we manage it? What is it that's happening in 2025? These are all things that we're going to cover. So this newsletter that we are recording is coming right from Simplify's blog post from a couple of weeks ago. And it's just covering how we help advertisers in this space of digital advertising, programmatic advertising, make sure that your brand that you've developed is safe. So what is your brand? Again, your brand is your identity as a business. So you are building this brand by your customer service, by you being in the market, your products, your service in the stores. These are all things that are your brand. And it's really important that you take it seriously, right? So what happens if you don't? If you have a poor brand experience for those that are using it, you're going to get bad reviews, right? People are going to go to Google and complain, or go to Yelp and complain. That's going to erode at your business. I see it time and time again with local businesses. If you have a poor brand, if you've not taken the time to build up a solid brand, then your business, no matter how much marketing you spend, and actually you have to over advertise to overcome the challenges of a poor brand. So if there's a ton of bad reviews that are out there, or even worse, if there's no reviews, that means nobody's using your business, or the people that have used it are not having a good experience. And those are really huge hurdles to overcome. So when you're looking at ways to measure your brand, the safety that's happening, there are digital marketing tools that are at your availability to be able to make sure that you're preventing these things from happening and from bad exposure. And these are, again, places that we live in a digital world to help advertisers overcome some of these things. So when we're looking at advertising, and we speak about how to manage your brand in these areas, it's really important to understand what's happening. So if you look at how, again, ads are placed in the digital environment, you're buying placement. So that placement can be on Google, it can be on social media, it can be in these places of programmatic advertising on desktops and cell phones and all these areas. So your brand is going to be placed through technology in these areas. So even on Google, you're getting to the point that they're placing your ads not only the Google search interface, but also other places. So they have search partners where your ad can land. So it's important to manage and monitor that. There's also, again, within social media, yes, you have Meta and the Facebooks and the Instagrams of the world, but those ads can also land in other partner websites if you've opened yourself up to that. And programmatic, you're in this space, if you're marketing yourself in programmatic, you're going to a lot of different places. So it's important to be in a lot of different places, as I've talked about many different times. You want to make sure that you're diversifying your message, but you're also opening yourself up to being in a lot of different places. And there is fraud that's out there. So how do you protect yourself? And that's, again, one of the topics that we're going to be covering here is how do we protect your brand? And we do that through world-class technology. So technology, whether it's AI or software, it should be used to help manage your ad spend. And so we want to make sure you're spending those dollars in the right places at the right time, and we're mitigating any chances for your ad to land in places that are not safe. So we want to make sure that we're staying ahead of any evolving trends. So websites pop up all the time. I was talking with somebody a couple of days ago, and they build these websites to drive traffic and to drive revenue from, and they open it up to advertising. So this website uses what's called AdSense to have ads placed on it. So going back to Google, AdSense is a Google property. And so the way that it works is that they're placing their ads through AdSense to this person's website. This website, when I looked at it, it was not high quality, right? So if you're a brand that's trying to really protect their image, and then you're landing on these places that are not high quality, that's a concern, right? Because now the potential consumer is seeing your ad placed in a place that's probably less than desirable. So you want to make sure that you're evolving with the understanding that technology is monitoring these things. If we see a website that's out there that's not above board, we want to make sure that we're not displaying our clients' advertising. And it takes software and technology to be able to do that. So, and transparency is key. So understanding where your ads are landing is a lot of times what I'm tasked with. So when I'm talking with advertisers, they want to know where the ads are actually landing, and so we can provide that. So that's one of the things that we talk about. So how do we incorporate the safety into your marketing? So how are we actually making sure that your ads are landing? So first and foremost, we want to provide full transparency. So when you're doing this advertising, you want to have the reporting that's behind it. So when you look at the simplified dashboard, if you're looking at running ads in programmatic, we have the ability to unpack all of that. So we can show you where your ads are landing. I do monthly reviews with my clients, and we can look at here are the apps that are showing your ad. Here are the websites that are showing your ad. Here are the channels that Connected TV is showing your ad. And all that information is there. And it allows us to have conversations. And one of the more interesting and fun conversations I have is when people are seeing where their ads are landing. And sometimes it's on, dating apps, or sometimes it's on, gaming apps. Sometimes it's on religious and Bible apps. These are all conversations that we want to have. But like, if you're putting yourself in the seat of the consumer, right? These people are gaming. They're reading the Bible on their app. They're doing other things. So you want to have a real conversation, but you have to have real conversation around transparency, right? And so we want to make sure that our clients are understanding where their ads are showing, and having quality conversations about why it's showing there. And it's important to eliminate those low quality websites. Going back to the information, or the client or person I was talking to that was having a website that was running AdSense on it. There are a lot of poor websites out there that are strictly just made for advertising. MFA websites are a thing. Made for advertising websites are typically just garbage websites with a lot of ads on them. So we have ways to make sure that we can adjust and not even pick those types of websites up in our marketing. So we want to make sure that, again, our clients see that we're transparent about what is happening, and make sure that we're taking control, which is the next one. We want to make sure that we're looking at where to allow and where to block. So we're ensuring that ads appear on sites that are vetted. We want to make sure that we're flagging domains that are garbage, and they're pretty easy to see. Ironically, and I'll put this link in the video, but Google is one of the biggest violators of MFA websites. Well, why is that, right? So MFA websites, made for advertising websites, provide avenues for ads to be placed. Going back to AdSense. AdSense is a Google property where they're placing those ads. The more ads that they can place, the more money that they make. So if we're looking at those websites and they're not quality, then we want to eliminate them. Unfortunately, Google is one of the big violators of that, in that they're putting a lot of these websites that are out there and placing ads in them. So we don't want to do that, because it's going to erode the brand of our advertisers. As a marketer, it's really important that we're placing our clients in places that make sense. So we want to make sure that we're also real time looking at the content of these. So this is where technology and AI really helps. It can look at those websites, scan them, and understand if it's a good or bad place to be. And that's happening all the time. We also want to make sure that we're bidding appropriately. So, there's things that can be appearing alongside our ads that is content that's not something that we want. So again, hate speech and violence and sensitive topics are sometimes, again, really challenging to filter out. But if we have these things that are in place, it's going to help us to make sure that our ads are not appearing there. And we understand that, this is something that's really sensitive to a lot of our clients. And so we have levers that are in our toolkit that allow that to be able to be mitigated. So, and we can exclude content. So all these websites, whenever you sign up to have ads placed on, you have to tell them, what it is that you are speaking to. So in that, we can exclude different areas to avoid, content websites that, again, don't align with the brand value. So you've done a lot of work to build up your business. You're doing this marketing to attract new people, and you want to make sure your ads are landing in the right places. And that's our job. So we want to make sure that that's something that's happening above board. There are a lot of different ways that we can measure, what's happening. So we want to make sure that we're looking at these things, evaluating these things. And again, it takes a lot of technology to do that. And we want to make sure that we're employing these things to make the experience better for the advertiser, but also for the consumer. So, when we look at, again, what's happening, there's lots of websites that are created every single day. And so it takes a lot of, evaluating to make sure that we're blocking the ones that don't align and making sure that we're allowing the ones that do. So that's what our job is at Simplify. And what I help with is making sure that, we're looking at all these areas and making decisions to, avoid areas where we're going to, have our ads placed where it may not be, the above board type of website. So, there's blockers, there's technology, and there's people. So, there's a lot that's happening behind the scenes, and we're here to help make sure that we have a good solution for advertisers to place ads in an area that's going to make sense for building your brand. Again, you as a marketer, as a business owner, as an agency, your whole understanding of building a quality brand it's a lot of levels to it. And one of those levels is, where do my ads get placed? And it's a huge concern for Simplify. It's a huge concern for myself. So I'm helping clients every single day appropriately place advertising so that it's connecting with the right person at the right place, getting the right response. So again, that's what we do. We have a lot of technology in place. There's a lot of people in place that are helping to manage this. So if you have questions about how to safely place advertising, if you've had questions about how this all comes together, if you're a technology nerd, feel free to reach out and I can go through, how we actually build these campaigns out to make sure that your ads are landing in safe places. So again, thank you for your time and thank you for your consideration. Have a blessed day.